Tell them Africa we don't tire. So here comes the African giant.
What's good, beautiful people? It's your boy Emmanuel. Welcome back again to the channel. Hey, if you're new to the channel and this is your first time, welcome. Okay, this is a channel where we discuss everything African music and we do album reviews, listings, top 10 rankings, all of that good stuff. Okay, so subscribe for more content. Today's video, you already seen the title. You know the journey we're about to embark on right now is Burna Boy's 4th studio album called African Giant. If you don't know who Burna Boy is at this point, fam. Burna Boy is a self-described Afrofusion artist, one of our latest pop acts from Nigeria to ever grace the world stage in such a big way. And I feel like a lot of the stars has been aligned, man. Burna Boy was featured on Beyonce's compilation album for Lion King. Before that, he won the BET Awards International Act. Before going to the album, where were our expectations? My expectations for the album were through the roof, man, like off the charts. And I have 5 good reasons why. Okay, Killing Them. Bono.
When the bed do they enter body.
On the Low.
Angelina, you dey cool in my temperature. If you call up
Dangote.
Dangote, see they buy money.
Anybody.
When no one does
Bam! You can actually make a good argument for him being 5 for 5 going to his album. Pretty much every single he released for this album was a hit. Couple all of that with being on the Beyonce album and then the BET Award. This has been his moment, okay? Arguably the best artist last year, but I did a list and I gave him the second because I felt Wizkid did more that year. This year he's still taking on that trajectory and plowing through with more hit singles. And one thing that was consistent with all these songs that he put out was the producer. Kel-P was the guy that came in and pretty much did, I think, virtually all the songs he released before the album.
Then I think the next day I got a call from Sizamili and Burna, and they both told me, yo, where are you? Come down to Lucky Phase 1 Farm City. So when I got there, I met Burna there. And Burna was like, you the bad guy with the sounds, right? I was like, yeah. So from there we went to one hotel. We're there for a couple of weeks. Then we're working. We recorded 12 songs in 2 weeks. And Burna Boy he's an inspiration because he inspires me. His sound and the way he sounds, like his vocal texture is unique. He's #1 African greatest. For me, Burna is my #1 African artist.
You can tell that his chemistry with this producer was primal for him. He had found his perfect match, and I felt, if I was almost screaming way before the album came out that Kel-P better be the executive producer of the album. That gave me every reason to look forward to this album as his best album in his catalog. My issue is I'm not as confident as I thought I would be about saying this is his best album. His last album, Outside, which by the way I reviewed last year, was the first album under Atlantic Records, and he had some few international acts here and there, but African Giants came back with more international acts. Now the first song, African Giant, he sets the tone as to what it means to be an African giant. African giant is somebody that has dreams and hopes for his people or himself. And we all remember the encounter as to how African Giant started becoming a thing. Burna Boy was listed for Coachella, he performed last year, but his name was in a small font. And this man I actually respect this man. This man came out with the confidence that I'm an African giant. Like, respect me with that font, fam. I don't know if that's actually the origin of where he named the album, but that's why I remember African Giant being a thing from him. If that was the influence as to why he named the album African Giant, by all means, man. I really respect that notion of know your worth, and that became the underlying message of this entire album, to be more confident in yourselves, be more confident in your dream, be more confident in your people. Wetin Man Go Do was basically focusing on the economical and financial stresses and strains of reality in general. I don't think it's necessarily a focus on Nigeria's economical situation right now, but it's more of a reality. Like, you have mouths to feed, you have school fees to pay, you have everything, and it's giving you that, oh yeah, there's a problem. Then it transitions over to a song called Dangote and basically transmits the message of you gotta go to work, man. Especially working in a city like Lagos, you just gotta go out there and work, man, because like, wetin man go do if you no go work? Like, wetin? He does this thing very well where he pairs up two sets of songs and the message behind them was just strong. And whoever A&R'd it, I see your work there, man. And we get into Jorja Smith, man. Like the song called Gum But D, I really did not feel this one because the intention of the song was to show passion and love for your other, and knowing that, going to the song just doesn't fill that void for you. Jorja Smith left me wanting more, man. I don't think she made any impression on the album or the song, being one of the very few female vocalists on the album. She had to be carried along on the chorus just to remind us that she's on the song, and her contribution on the chorus just didn't seem significant. One thing about the structure of the song, it has no hook. There's nothing that you're gravitating to. There's nothing with some form of repetition that could make you wanna get hooked to the song. But even though that was not the intent of the song was supposed to be a passionate, love-filled song, and I just wasn't getting that. For some odd reason, I couldn't help but notice some heavy breathing on the song right after the chorus.
And they call you no dancer.
I don't understand if that was intentional, but that just threw me off and didn't make the song pleasurable to listen. It was very inaudible, and Jorja Smith came in slurring her words. It really wasn't a confident performance on her part. I wasn't getting what I was expecting from a Jorja Smith and Burna Boy collab, man. Another good pairing of songs was Collateral Damage and Another Story featuring Manifest, and that was pretty much well done again. He tapped into that sentiment of we should want more for ourselves. Collateral Damage was a wake-up call for people to actually understand that we need to be more fighters for our rights. We need to be able to not make police harassment a normal thing. Basically, just don't take the corruption and injustices around you as a normal thing. I fight back. Other than Fouls, it's been a while I saw a social justice record sound so good and so danceable. It's like you're dancing to a record and say, I'm gonna fight for it, right? It's like, but the message is there. It's an upbeat record that keeps you involved. It has a good hook. And in between from that Collateral Damage, we hear a story that pretty much every Nigerian should know by now, about the Unilever thing and how Nigeria became what it is. Prefacing that and then going into the song Another Story. So Another Story was another song. It was absolutely stellar in capturing his frustration about Nigeria. And he invited the Ghanaian rapper called Manifest. And if you ask me that a popular Nigerian album is featuring a Ghanaian rapper, there's only one name that I can think of. Yes, you guessed it. Sarkodie, right? And I was like, huh. That's true. A Nigerian pop album without Sarkodie, that's a dime, man. That's something we don't see every day. But anyway, Another Story was definitely a favorite of mine. Another one that I was looking forward to was a song with Damian Marley, Angelique Kidjo. And shout out to TMXO for being on that record, man. That was a huge pop. A lot of what dictated the sound of the album was the singles, and most of the singles were straight up Fela-induced Afrobeats and gave us the sentiment of just raw and authentic orchestra Afrobeat. But he needed to remind us that he can actually do reggae too, and who other to feature on the album than Damian Marley himself. I've always been gunning for people to feature Damian Marley more. I was expecting Patoranking to have Damian Marley on his album, but he doesn't have the Atlantic Records connect, so yeah.
Different steps we are climb, while them connive. Different egos collide, back full of different knives.
Differently though, although we different, still we similar. Every man bleed blood, that's a big similarity. 7 billion show, one cinema, one world we live in.
But anyways, Angelique Kidjo ended the song with a nice solo that just kept her in her pocket. This song definitely significant because it screamed like a Grammy moment for Burna Boy. And I don't know if Damian Marley has won a Grammy before, I had to look it up. But Angelique Kidjo, fam. But we're going to speak about Grammys eventually, so let's not get into the Grammy yans right now. Definitely Different was another highlight for me on this album. So the track called Pull Up was a song that was very, very laid back. I can expect someone like Jules Baby producing it. And pretty much sounds like an Afrobeat, like an ambient kind of Afrobeat record. That performance on the song just made it seem, oh yeah, this is effortless. Guys, we need to talk about Serrani's intro into the song Secret. The voice. As soon as that song started, I felt like I had heard his voice somewhere and immediately came back to me. No Games, from back in the day, a dancehall record, a Jamaican song. yo, this song was it. This song was it for me. This was the kind of collaboration that I felt made perfect sense. It was a dancehall record that featured American artist Jeremiah, and this is the most like dancehall I've ever heard Jeremiah come up on any song. And the song just made sense. Burna Boy's verse was so powerful. Let's talk about songs that I wasn't really having here. It's a 19-track album, and you guys know already, like 19 tracks for me is too long already, alright? But the fact that we had 5 songs out already just made the album quicker to consume, obviously. So we had 5 songs that we knew already, we knew and we loved, so we were guaranteed bangers. Let's push them to the side for now, alright? We had 14 new songs, and out of those 14 new songs, a lot could have been cut out of the album and made the album more digestible, okay? Some songs were just flat out unnecessary. It did not bring too much to the table. So one thing I'm going to be incorporating on my album reviews are my takeaways and my throwaways, okay? A song that didn't really deserve to be on the album was Destiny, okay? So on the build up to this song, it was very, very difficult to kind of pick up where the beat was going. The bounce is very hard to catch, and this was a borderline EDM record. No one's denying the message of taking control of your own destiny. Again, still ties into the African Giant message. It was an unconventional beat. I can give you that. It's something experimental, but not every experiment works, right? The first pile that's going into that throwaway is Destiny, okay? The second one that's going to the throwaway pile is Gun Body. Now, the bottom 2 tracks, Show and Tell featuring Future and This Side featuring YG, gave me mad industry plant cringe. This was a feature that no one demanded, no one expected. I saw it on the track list, but I wanted to brush it off. I was like, okay, he has a song with Future and YG. Unnecessary, but I'll give it a chance to listen to. And once I heard those 2 records, was this necessary? Did we need this on the album? The incompatible collaborations between him and Future just made it seem obvious that this was just for name recognition. YG, another name recognition feature. What was my man saying with the Bumbleclads? Like, for each of the international acts on the album, we could definitely derive a reason as to why Burna would want to have a song with them, right? For Georgia Smith, Burna Boy basically grew up in UK, and her having that UK sound and that R&B flow, it made sense to have her on the album, nonetheless. Damian Marley, Burna Boy is very well known for his reggae and dancehall approach on many songs and his previous albums, so it made sense for him to have Damian Marley to have a reggae song, right? I can't ask for any other person. Damian Marley, makes sense. Angelique Kidjo, 3-time Grammy winner. Like, there's the reason why. Absolute living legend that is still active. And of course, if you want to have a classic, man, she's the one that you might want to have on that track list. So that makes sense, right? Angelique Kidjo, we get that. But for Future and YG, I beg to ask, why, G? And yes, you're going to take that pun. That pun was very much intended. But seriously though, unnecessary collaborations that did not really seem organic. They didn't seem natural. It just felt forced. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for blending genres. Like, Burna Boy has a hip-hop background too, so him having a hip-hop acts like YG and Future, I can understand maybe, okay? These were not the ones to go with, and this was not what helped your album. It took so much away from what would have been, in my view, a classic album, okay? But classic albums don't have inaudible songs like those, man. Like Bumbleclads, like... And again, the album ends on an underwhelming note. Like, Spiritual wasn't a very intentional record. Spiritual did not make too much of an impression. I cannot confidently say that this is his best album. I definitely enjoyed the album Outside just a tad bit more than this one. To call it a classic, I'll have to dial it back a bit, because there was a lot of unnecessary records that took away from your underlying message that was so powerful. The message behind your intention of putting out this album was so powerful, but a lot of distractions along the way, drawing away from what we've grown to know Burna Boy as, for at least for the past year, that he's very intentional with his hooks, very intentional with the vibe that he presents on the song. His album would have resonated more if everything on the album was as organic as the first 5 songs they put out. Kel-P produced in his mood, in his vibe, in that vein, in that pocket. Even in that same pocket it was on Beyonce's album. Like, that was where I was expecting this album to go to, but this album went on another trajectory. And obviously we're having 5 bangers. I could sense the pressure already wait on the album to deliver. I know, I've seen it on my Instagram, a lot of people feel the album already ended for them with the 5 songs. Nothing to pick up on after the song, but I would not go that far as to say. So now to my takeaway list, I feel like Secret is the song that I can take away confidently. That was a banger, okay? That was something that definitely was in his pocket. Felt like an organic space for him. Shout out to Serani for that hook. Man, his voice is so unique that I made a huge moment for that album. And another track was Collateral Damage. Definitely in the pocket of voicing his frustration for Nigerians. Wetin Man Go Do, definitely another takeaway that felt organic. About Grammys, I feel like we need to evaluate what categories Burna Boy can fit in. And guess what? The category is not an easy one, okay? I don't still appreciate the fact that Afropop is still seen as another element of the world music. I feel like almost every part of the world music now should have its own category. Like the Latin, the K-pop, then us, like Afropop, should definitely have their own pockets and categories where we can pick up from. Having Burna Boy put out this album that is already getting picked up by so many media outlets in the States, this would be a bridge. It definitely will. It's not even a question of that. It will be a bridge. It would open more doors for more African acts. And I hope Afropop grows to the point where we don't bank on collaborations in order to make it big. And guys like Davido are proving that having Fall Crack in that market organically, well, organically could be speculation, but he has a song with Chris Brown that came out yesterday as well. I mean, Afropop obviously is getting to that big stage, and this album is going to serve as, I guess, the first look into what an Afropop album will sound like. And for that being said, this album, Burna Boy's 4th project, African Giants, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. I want you guys to go in the comment section and let me know what are your takeaways from this album, excluding those big 5 songs that we mentioned. And let me know if there are any records that you just wanted to throw away that did not help the album. Let me know in the comment section, okay? I've been your boy Emmanuel, and this is another review. If you're new to the channel, again, it's been a pleasure that you're watching to this point. And let me know if you guys enjoyed the video, enjoy what we're trying to do on this channel. Let me know about the album as well. I've been your boy Emmanuel, and I'm signing out.